Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday, happy 1st of December as we go into the end of the year. How was everybody's weekend? Hey, Kevin. How are you? So, in the afternoon, sort of the yesterday afternoon, I put in the sort of week ahead and what to look for, and I said that we were going to do this lower because basically it was a look above and fail of 68, 64. So, the end of the month, you tend to mark up prices, right? To make everybody feel good, and then that bid, you lose that bid, so you want to find out now where the bid is, right? If you look at a purely inventory perspective, which you really should, I don't know what else you're looking at. If you're not looking at inventory, I don't know what you're looking at because it's a market, and a market has inventory. So if you're not looking at inventory, I'm scared to think of what you're looking at if you're not looking at inventory because you're kind of missing the point of what a market is. Right? A market is a mechanism to distribute inventory, right? It's pretty simple. So we want to see how the distribution's going, right? Right? So here you can obviously see the inventory of the short term, at least the middle of November, is all underneath 67.88. So we've done this again. We have this big zone, 88 on top, 65.47 on the bottom. We look below and fail. I mean, look above and fail, look below and fail. Do we accept over 67.88 going into the end of the year? That is the bigger question that you have to ask yourself. Basically, if you're a short seller and you're short under 68.64, you're okay. You're okay down here. And what we're looking for, even though inventory is short, I'm looking to see if we can take out Wednesday's low. Wednesday was the last full trading day before the holiday. So the old market profile guys tell us to use the last full trading day. Okay, I understand that for business reasons. Now there's a gap here. Our overnight low is before the Wednesday low, and it's also before the gap. So you can obviously tell that there are buyers there under 6,800, right? Why would otherwise you'd be at 67, 80, 65, 50. Like if there were no buyers here, then the sellers wouldn't lift price. Okay? Welcome to folks joining us on YouTube. Good to have you. I hope you guys all had a good long weekend. Yep, got a B profile, right? As Alexander says, it looks like the letter B. Right? I feel like we're on Sesame Street. Basically, what's going on is the people who are long here on Wednesday and long here on Friday are puking it out. It's being caught here. The shorts are holding the bid above the Wednesday low. That's really all that's going on. Now, Yeah, I think I took one or two scalps in Globex. Nothing really worth talking about. I'm just kind of watching it. I want to see how this month sets up. Now, of course, this week, we're into the news cycle, and next week we have a Fed meeting. Do we not? Just want to double check that. So, Powell is speaking at 8 o'clock. Oh, I'll be asleep when that happens. Uh, what is it, like fireside chat or something? Yeah, next week, the 10th, is the FOMC interest rate decision. So, longer term, I'm looking for back and forth until we break 88 and fill that gap. Then it's back down, and I'd say we'd be looking at 35. If we cannot break these levels and we do this, these would be the lows. Then please be careful, because then we'll take another run at 64. Okay. Let's go take a look. A little bit more detailed picture. This was really fascinating on the holiday. You could see there was a little B profile short covering right where those old single prints were, where the shorts got trapped, and it held. It held for the whole holiday, and then they dropped the bid because they sold into it. Overnight low is 68.02. Inventory, I'd say, is probably 80-90% short. So we are looking for a move up off the open. We have a lot of selling. We have sellers at every single one of these white lines is where the sellers are. So a look below at fail of 68.12. You've got about 14 to 16. That's where your outs are. Okay, you have sellers. So whatever kind of chart you're using, if you're using a half-hour candle, a 1-minute candle, half-hour TPO, whatever your flavor of chart, if you're using itchy and scratchy or whatever the heck you guys use, right? The top of these areas, that's where the sellers are. The bottom here is where they stop selling, right? They see buyers, they stop selling, and coax the buyer to come up. That's how business works, right? Yeah, you want to be fast today, Moran. I'm going to say something very unpopular, and you'll probably hate me for it. I think it's going to be volatile going into year end. So, you know, but that's a double-edged sword, right? Right? Volatility is a double-edged sword. Everybody wants volatility, but when it gets there, right? When everybody gets volatility, everybody turns into a crybaby, right? Yeah, you better not pout. You better not cry. I'm telling you why. Volatility is coming to town. He sees you when you're sloppy. He knows when you're not using stops. He knows when you're trading like a drunk idiot. So don't. It's our Christmas carol. Don't. You better not pout. You better not cry. Right? Santa's bringing volatility. We're cleaning out the sellers. So we're already starting to correct inventory before the open. That's good, right? Remember all these white lines I said there were sell orders there, and we're just kind of creeping through them? So as we creep through these areas, that tells me that the sellers who are long here, are raising the offer, getting people to pay more. What is the agenda, my friends? I want you to take a look at this 1-minute candle wax chart. And I want you to look at VWAP. Now, I've told you about this business-wise over and over and over again, right? So from midnight to now, this market has been under VWAP except for small little places here, right? Exactly, Alexander, exactly. Someone's listening, right? So the agenda now is to take all of this. Ugh, drives me nuts. I hate this epic pen thing. It's just brutal. It's to take this inventory and to sell it up here. Wherever you can. Here, doesn't matter as long as it's above VWAP. Does everybody get that? So accumulation, distribution. Right? Now, does everybody understand what accumulation is? Because a lot of people ask me, how do you tell when they're accumulating versus when they're distributing? Do you guys all understand what accumulation means? To accumulate inventory? It's kind of like to restock the shelves if you had a store and you sold out of all your stuff. You guys get that, right? Because I get a lot of people asking me, JJ, how do you know the difference between accumulation and distribution? And I'm like, damn, I better go over that. So in a business, you accumulate things at a cheaper price to sell at a higher price. Right? Right? That's the focus of business, is to accumulate at a cheaper price and sell at a higher price. Yeah, Hex, but what I'm trying to do is, you guys get caught in these loops of who's doing what, when, where, and how, where you just need to be able to see accumulation under VWAP, distribution over VWAP. That's all you really need to know right now, right? You don't really, you don't, you just want to keep it real simple, right? The more simple you keep this, here's why I like simplicity. There is a tactical reason for simplicity. You guys just think, you probably think that I don't think you're smart enough to handle all of the facts, but that's not what it is. There is a tactical reason why when people talk to me and I go, that's gibberish, you're not making any sense, and how are you going to execute that? What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to instill in you a sense of, there's a tactical advantage to simple, which means when you're actually in there trying to execute a business plan, if you have 30 points of interest in your head that you're trying to correlate and make sense of, how do you know where to enter your business transaction, where to put your insurance, which is your stop, and where and how to select your targets? You should be able to do that in the time that I tell you, that I just said, to say, where do you put your entry, where do you put your stop, and how do you target out of the trade? In that time, if you were looking at this chart, you should have been boom, 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 having your orders in right away. If I tell you guys 68.19 bid, 50 contracts, 68.22 offer, 25, 68.23 offer, 25. You should have those orders in by the time I'm stopped speaking. Learn how to be quick. A lot of people say you have to trade to your personality and all of that. That's all BS. You got to learn what to do, and you've got to be drilled like you're in the military so you can do these trades with your eyes closed, so you're not fumbling around in the dark like a drunk kid trying to find his keys when he gets dropped off in front of his house, right? You guys fumble around with your trades. You miss the trade, you chase, then you get angry and then you get upset. Don't do that. Be a professional. Train yourself. If you don't know what you're doing, come visit us at the Trading Syndicate. I'll train you, right? It's not that hard. It's just repetition of keystrokes, right? It's the mind-body connection. Keep your analysis simple so you know, okay, if I'm buying a certain level, right? If I'm going to buy, if I'm looking for a trade where the market shows me the selling under a level is complete, that's what this means. Look below and fail. So you buy a little here at 13, 13 and a half. You put your stop under 12 and you sell 14 and a half, 15, and you put your orders out. You know there's going to be sellers here and here. So you front run those sellers. Do you see what I mean? That's how you trade this, right? So you're long, your stop, and then you sell into the strength that is created by a lack of supply. It's a momentary lack of supply that creates this. And you want to be positioned here so you can sell in it, right? So if this is the move, you don't want to be here. That's the risk. You come in here. Let these people clean it up. You jump in for this little move, right? That little move, if you're buying 13, 13 and a half and selling 16 and a half, that's 3 points on 10 contracts. That's not a bad trade. I would not say no to that, right? We're working on something, Alexander. One of my guys is building a simulator for us that takes you and puts you in the market maker's chair so you learn how to have a sense of urgency. Yeah, you're right, George. Your agenda is to sell over VWAP, but that depends on the incoming order flow. Do you see right now we went over VWAP for about a minute and a half up to 23, no dice. So do you see how they're selling it back down, right? You got to take that inventory. So if I'm long 12, 13 and I don't find buyers at 23, I'll drop the price to 21, to 20, to 19. I'm long 12 to 13 so I can drop the price all the way back to 13 and still make money. That's business. Now, if I have to sell it into cost basis, what if a whole bunch of people show up selling and I've got inventory that's mispriced? I better get out of it and take the hit, right? Because if I'm long 12, 13 and it goes to 10, I'm dumping it. I'm getting out of my inventory. Because if it goes to 2, that's a big capital hit, right? And this business is about, like, you're a trader, you're not an investor. So you never want to treat the trade that you're in like it's the last trade you're ever going to be in. That's what people, they think the trade that they're currently in is going to solve all their problems, right? I'm going to take this trade, I'm going to make 50 grand, I'm going to pay off all my bills, and my wife's going to like me again because I've spent 3 years in front of this screen and I haven't made any money because I don't know what I'm doing, right? So you're looking for that next trade to solve all your problems. It ain't going to happen, right? And I don't want to be the Grinch that stole Christmas, but at least you guys better have some reality going into this time of year because everybody just gets crazy at this time of year and blows up accounts and like they just act the fool because they're under pressure, right? Don't let the market become your pressure. I have seen people lose millions of dollars and hundreds of millions of dollars because they've done stupid things instead of just sitting out, right? In deals and in trading. So if you're feeling pressured, if you're feeling financially stressed, for the love of God, don't put money at risk in the market. Okay, that's my pre-Christmas get up on a soapbox speech, okay? If you're having financial difficulty, do not try and trade your way out of it at the end of the year. It's not going to end well. Now, having said that, there's going to be some opportunity for those of you who have done your homework and have been working this year, right? I know there's a lot of people who have been putting in the work. We've got that AI trading coach out now. So anybody who's in my, mentoring class, anybody who's in the room, anybody who's using that AI coach, it's really good because if I'm not around, it can answer questions, right? And the source of facts that we have in that is it's been sort of combed and cleaned. It's not like regular AI which goes and brings information from all over the internet like a vacuum cleaner, right? So at least we will get you proper information. I'll put the link in. And our trading room is tradingsyndicate.org. I'll put the link in for that as well. What we accomplish and what we want to do every day is we want to give regular people the opportunity to make a living and teach them how to actually make money in this. And we don't spout all this BS rhetoric and fancy gibberish about, you know, confluence and flatulence and unfinished business and XLAX and all this stupid nonsense that people spout off about. We tell you where to take the trade, where to put the stop, and why. And how do we know if the trade's going to work, right? How do you know that your trade is going to work, right? Have you prepared? Do you really know what an A plus setup is, right? So the A plus setup is you. People always ask me, what's the A plus setup here? Thinking that it's like a magic setup. It's not. You are the A plus setup. How many times have you tested it? Do you know the subtleties of this trade? Have you really gone and sat and figured out the subtleties of this trade? Have you watched it so many times that you know when to take it, when not to take it? When inventory is short, should you be taking it? Or when inventory is long, should you be taking it? And if so, yes, and what should your expectations be given the price action and the speed of market, right? The size of the candles, all of those things. That is the A plus setup. The A plus setup is you knowing your business so well that you could talk about the look below and fail for 8 hours, right? You might think I'm nuts, but that's what pros can do. Pros can talk about a trade for hours. All the little subtleties that they see, all the little nuances, that's because they spend time sitting there and not jonesing for a trade and just trading, with their eyes closed going, oh yeah, I'll take it. I'll take it. No. They sit and there's a business reason for why they're doing what they're doing. And if that business reason stops existing, then you get the hell out of that trade. Right? Like you're being chased by a pack of hungry lions. Right? Yeah, can you read the market structure? You got to put in all these little subtle little things on a trade, right? Because no two trades are exactly the same, unfortunately, right? The price action in this market, especially as it goes into year end, is going to be 1 hour it's going to be one way, then it's going to change. Then it's going to be another way, then it's going to change. So pre-market, what can you guys tell me? Right? What information can you tell me that is actually relevant right now? Right? To actually making money. Right? It's 3 minutes to the open. Do you know where your seller is? It's 3 minutes to the open. Do you know where your bid is? Right? That's what you should be thinking about. Where's the bid? Where are my sellers? Are they aggressive? You should have that all down. Your trades should already be thought out. If this happens, then this is what I do to execute. If this doesn't happen, then I don't execute. Or I have another trade for that scenario. You know, if you don't have a specific trade for a scenario, why are you even putting money on the table? Very good. So we're seeing bids at around 12, right, Moran, sorry. So we're seeing bids at 12. So you want to see if 12 holds on the open, right? That's pretty simple, right? You guys understand what I'm saying? If you're seeing buying at 12, pre-market, you want to see buying at 12 when the market opens. Because sometimes they could be just stopping selling at 12, and if the market opens and there's no buyers, they're just going to bang it down to 7. Okay? Let me explain. If the market opens here, right, and just because they stop selling here, it's because they've got pre-market suckers, right, coming in who are willing to buy 13, 14, 15. But if those suckers are gone when the market opens, they'll bang it down here to 7. That's why you're watching 12. That's how you look to see if a bid is still there. That is practical information you can actually use to make money. Because if you're short and the market can't break 12, you better cover. If you're looking for a look below and fail of 12, it's kind of poking around right now. It's trying to look below. Right? Practical, 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 practical. Where do you put your trade? Where do you put your stop? Why? Not, oh, it's random or the algos are doing this or all sorts, some sort of BS. Give me the actual business reason why this trade works. If your trading educator cannot give you the business reason why you're taking the trade, I'd be a little anxious. Let's see if it holds 12. If it holds 12, we can go long. Long's 15, out 17. 17 and 3/4. 18. 18. I was long 12. I was long 15, sorry, and selling the 18s. Right? Why did I take the long? I saw bids. We were talking about it, right? Everybody see that? It held. Where's the low? Right? It held 12. There you go. Go long. Everybody understand why that trade happened? Overnight inventory is short. Okay? We're looking for longs. Bids at 12, go long. Right? There's not a lot of heavy duty analysis to that. Is it easy to do? Geez, no. How many times have I screwed that trade up until I figured out how to look at it in a simple way? Right? It's going to come back and test it again. Look, bids, where are the bids? 16. as a seller around 17 now, right? So we had that initial push up. Now I'm looking for 12, a break of 12. Let's see if we could take out the opening print, which was 13 and a quarter, 13 and a half, I do believe. Still got some bids there, eh? Do you see that? Did everybody catch that? The bottom of that candle. Right? We told you what to look for before the open. Let's see if we can get go and tickle 21 close to VWAP. It was quick. It's okay. You know what, Josh? I've been up since 4 in the morning, so that's a little wired on caffeine. It's 2 in the afternoon here. If you're just starting out, that's why sometimes those opening trades, you got to be a little caffeinated. That's all right. And you just had 4 days off, too. Thanks, Peter. You know, Peter's posted New York Stock Exchange breadth is 2-to-1 negative, yet the market's moving higher. And this used to completely confuse people so badly. You get negative breadth and the market's moving higher. That's because it's all about inventory. Because the breadth, and this is why you should never try and correlate markets, because the breadth pertains to the buying over the selling volume in the New York Stock Exchange, which has a completely different order flow and inventory than a futures contract that trades in Chicago. So you have your own players doing your own thing in this market. You shouldn't be trying to correlate to another market. Because if you had a negative view on the New York Stock Exchange, you'd be shorting the hell out of the ES, and that's why it's going higher, because everybody's shorting it. I don't look at breadth anymore. Some people just post it. I find it completely unnecessary, Mahesh. It was kind of cool during COVID. I remember one day we had 700-to-1 negative breadth. You know, that was like, okay, that was like a big wave of selling. But it's not going to actually help you with your execution. I have gone through all of this stuff, Mahesh. Tick, breath, all of this stuff, right? But what is actually usable when you execute? See, for me, it's all about where do I put my buy order? Where do I put my stop? And why? Right? So if I was long, remember when I went long 15, right? I went long 15 off the open, right? And I was selling 17, 18, right? I As soon as I'm in that trade, my sell orders are out. So when the market goes out, it takes me out. If my sell orders do not get executed, then I know that there's no buyer at 20, for example. So I can go and hit out and get rid of it. That tells me my sell orders give me information. Because if your sell orders do not get, if you buy something at 5 and you put a sell order in at 550, and it trades at 550, but guess what? You get no execution. You don't get a fill. It means somebody is front running you, probably with size. So what you need to do is move your sell order down from 50 to 49 or 48 until you get out. Me, I would just hit the bid and walk away. Right? This way your trading is tactical. You don't have some theoretical crap going through your head. Right? You actually have your fingers in the market. And you're getting real-time information from the transactions that you are transacting doing business. I hope this makes sense. Because they've taken trading and they've perverted it so much that it's so far away from the business that people are using all sorts of crap. I don't use initial balance on TPO. So Blackhawk, what I do is I use practical TPO. The TPO tells me where the inventory is, where the stops are, where the single prints are. For example, at 68.31 and a half, I know there's supply because we have single prints on the way down, right? Above the close, I know as inventory goes up, I'm looking for now 31, 30, 31 as a target. And then once we get over 31 and a half, I know there's going to be supply there. So, hey, Marky, how you doing? Good to see you. So what I do is I use market profile in the most practical way. So there's about 4 things in market profile. And if you come into our trading room, I did a profile 101 2 weeks ago. And what I teach is practical market profile. You can take market profile and look at all sorts of stuff, but what do you really need to trade? So if I was long anywhere from 12 to 22, and I know we're coming up to 31, that means I'm going to be a seller here because I know there are going to be sellers here. So I'm going to get out of my position before those sellers take my customer. Get it? Practical. Does that make sense? If you know there's somebody selling at 5, I'm going to go sell at 490 and undercut the bastard, right? Because if I wait till 5, he'll probably step down to 490 and take my buyer, right? And this is what I'm working on with one of our friends in the room, and he's developing this, and it's really quite amazing. In a short time, he has really. It's just getting you to have a sense of urgency when you're trading, so you're not like do 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 do. Like we don't want you to be a stress case, but we don't want you to be just kind of asleep at the switch. You know. There will always be someone selling at 5. What if this keeps running to 850 now? Yeah, you know, what if the moon was made out of green cheese? Do you have what it takes to hold into that trade to 38? Right? That's why everybody wants to make more. I understand that. That's good. But you want to be intelligently greedy, right? So if you're trading a large account and you think, okay, I'm going to buy 20 or 50 contracts between 12 and 22 and then sell them along the way, well, what about when it rips back? What's your business plan when it rips back? If I was long 14 and I didn't sell 24, 26, why would I give up that money in a market that I know is a rotational market? Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah, there's always going to be someone selling at 5. Why not you? Right? This is not called inventory hoarders. It's called trading. Right? Traders move inventory back and forth, back and forth. It's not the last trade you're ever going to take. You can always buy it back if you're that attached to it, but at least get yourself paid. Do you know what I mean? Right? I don't care what you do. I'm just trying to make you money. I just want you to make money. That's all. If you can hold trades for 20, 30 points and you've got you're trading 5, 6, $10 million accounts, and you can hold, through drawdowns and things like that, if you know how to manage positions, if you have multiple accounts, you can be short in one, long in the other, you can trade around positions, go ahead. But Aaron, I'm just trying to get regular people so they can make some money. You know what I mean? I hope that makes it clear. right? Because most people can't make $20 to $50 consistently for a month or two, right? So how the hell are they going to make 20 points on a trade if they even can't pull $50 out of a market? Learn your craft. The money will come. Get your execution, get your analysis, your execution, your market awareness. We go through market awareness. We're one of the only trading rooms where actually the educator knows what the hell market awareness is and knows how to tell the difference between candle types and the actual order flow that's coming in, right? All these sorts of things we teach you where other people are just teaching you patterns and volume analysis and all sorts of crap that they have no idea, because how could you learn volume analysis from someone who's never traded volume? Right? How could somebody teach you volume analysis if they've never traded volume? Right? Doesn't make any sense, right? They don't even know that the volume's the position, right? That's where your inventory is priced, right? You talk to people about cost basis, they look at you like, you know, with dead eyes. Let's see if 12 holds. I think we're going to crack through 12 now. What do you think? I think we've sold as much as we can over this 12, and these buyers, I think they're going to pull their bids. Let's see. I could be wrong. What do you think? Oh, there's still a little bit of a bid at 12. You guys awake? Is this thing on? You guys in the room, can you hear me? Jam, you're messaging me at 3 a.m. Now is the time I need you to message. Oh, this guy. 3 in the morning, you're like typing away, right? Like you're writing a manuscript. Now I'm asking you to talk, and you're like, ugh. uh, all right, still get those bids at 12. See if we could get over 18. Sorry, 19. We're the top, the last candle. We're looking at the top of the last candle. You're fighting with AI? So it's already started to fight against you? Uh, yeah, I took that one trade and I'll see. Right now I just have no interest in trading this right now. So, it's not that we don't have a lot. It's not like there is a lot of selling. It's just that really nobody's interested in buying this right now. Right? Larger traders would wait for a pullback to get long into the end of the year. They're not going to want to chase unless they have to. Look at that, eh? So, looks like we've got a rotation just kind of here. See that? Let's see if we bounce around in this box or if we break out of it. I hope that's not our AI, mother truck. I know you're working on something else. So if we get a break, where are you expecting a seller? They'll be here, right? And then here. Oh, AI coach gives you a lot to think about. Yeah, it'll do that. It's okay, Randy. I wasn't there's some people in the room I intentionally give a hard time to. So don't take it it's you. There's one member in the room who was like messaging me at 3 in the morning because he had a bright idea. And then I'm asking him for answers now, and there's like quiet. If we take out this candle high, we're looking for 34, which is we'll get into these single prints. Let's see if we can take out the close. Take out that U stop. There we go. Looking for 34. Can we get it? How did I know that was going to happen? Well, we finally ran out of supply. We got close. What did we get up to? 32 and 3/4. Close, close. Right? So we have those single prints and I erased them. Right? That's an area of supply. So we ran out of supply. We went into those single prints and there's the seller. Uh, uh. Listen, if I don't give him a hard time, nobody else will. All right, let's see if we can backtrack to VWAP. If we can't, we're going to look for, let's see if we can lift this thing over 30 and a half. Hey, Dan, how's it going? Hope you had a good Thanksgiving. Oh, there's a seller at 29 and a half. I think we're going to come back down to VWAP. Let's see. Oh, some bids at 26. Hmm. Pretty slow start to the month, huh? Is there a gap there? Interesting. So there was nothing in the order book at 68.48 half? Slowly creeping higher. That's short covering. They're going into that red box to get supply. Oh, still a seller at 33. Still a seller at 33. Hmm. Yeah, I don't know what harvest day is, but let's look for 34 now. Okay. Oh, wait. Actually hit 34. Okay. Levels are working. I came up with these levels actually on Sunday. See how we're chewing through these single prints? That's as the market needs supply, it goes into this red box. So now you can tell, okay, you know, the shorts got trapped underneath the close. There's one single print left. Then there's another set of them up here from 41 to 48 and a quarter. So it filled them. If you're doing a look above and fail of 34 and you're short here, just put your stop at 35. There's no reason to spend a lot of money on it. If it starts creeping back up, you know the trade's going to scratch. There. So overnight inventory was short. There was a persistent bid at 12, right? Off the open. So you put it together. This is what you should be putting in your trading journal, okay? So overnight inventory was short, and pre-market, there were bids at 12, hours before the open, right? Market opens, cannot transact 12, rotation higher. The trade is long. Now, you got to think, how many people shorted this overnight session, right? I was telling people, yeah, maybe short. Go ahead and short up here at 62, 60, 59, down to the close. That would have been a nice trade. But don't short it right at the gap fill, right? Now we're back above 34. We'll be targeting 45, right? So that's that Wednesday high. Remember, because Wednesday is the last full trading day. So anybody who's short under VWAP is helping push the market higher. Pretty simple. You go with, right? You go with. You want to wait until a bunch of people start selling and then short. And you'll be looking maybe for a look above and fail of 45. That would be a better short than just randomly shorting it on the way up. Yeah. Remember the half-hour candle chart that I did on the... It's pretty freaky. 6804 is the middle of this zone. 6790 quarter to 18. And you can see exactly how mechanical this market has been. Check it out. Position is here. The market distributes, sells higher, comes right back to the top of this position. Stop selling up. Stop selling up. So you don't even need to do this. You can just be taking look below and fails of 6804 up to 6830, 6804 up to 6840. Not a bad trade. Those are 40-point trades if you're using a half an hour candle chart. For those of you who have the account and the skill to do it. Does everybody understand what I'm showing you here? It's beautifully precise markets these days. They have perfected these algos where they are. Look at how we're just. How can you tell somebody's short? That's what all these green candles are. Those are the people who are short underneath 23 going, oh crap. And them all going, oh crap, and covering at the same time. See you, Jam. Stay out of trouble. Avoid the frying pan to the back of the head. Show the high of the position. The distribution, Moran. I think am I answering the right question? You show the high of the position. I'm showing the accumulation and the distribution. And then when we go on sale, we come right back. It's okay. It's okay. But I had to give you the gears about it. Just don't do it when the girlfriend's back. And I'll turn my phone off when she gets back. All right. So we slowed down right there. Single Prince previous day high. Now it's going to backfill. So we went up to create demand. Now we're going to go back and fill in that demand with supply. And we're going to find out where the big buyers are on this backfill. So how does that work? That's when you guys call that a pullback candle, right? Or a pullback series of candles. Let's see where they're desperate, right? When the market pulls back, where it pulls back to, I call the desperation, right? This is the desperation place. Where here are the big buyers? They're somewhere in here. Thanks, Gamut. Yeah, that's right, you guys. There is news in a minute, so I'm not in a trade. I've done like 3 micro scalps today, and I'm cheap, so I always, after 4 days off, I kind of really, really take it slow. See if we can get down to 30. So this is forced buying. You could tell that it's like nobody really wants to buy it, but they're like, "Ah, damn it." All right, B period's open. Oh, let's see what these knuckleheads got now. So remember, for the whole morning, our inventory has been, it's under VWAP, it's underneath. Really, our inventory is at 68.30. 68.30 is where all our inventory is underneath for the most part. We're just poking our head above that. So let's see if we can stay above that. Well, it's the close from Wednesday. And now we're in distribution, right? We're going to leverage those people. So if I know that, say I know that there's 100,000 contracts short under 23. Every time I get close to 23, what am I going to do? And I'm net long. So if you know that there's a massive short position under 23 and you're net long size, what would you do as the market gets to 23? Stop selling. Move the price up to 25, 26 and see if they follow you. Yeah. And if they don't follow you, you can always bang it down. That's not a problem. But yeah, that's how you trade size, right? And that's how these algos are programmed, right? It's nothing like magical. I mean, they're programmed to execute business transactions, right? They wouldn't program algos just to do randomly crazy trades this, that have no business, no business function behind the trade. That's not how it works, right? So the algos are programmed to execute business transactions in the most efficient way. See, do you see the little distribution here? That little balance back and forth? See? They're just selling in this little box, right? They're selling all of this up here for profit. It's beautiful. It's commerce. Now, every once in a while, they're going to have to put it on sale, right? Attention, Walmart shoppers. For the next 10 minutes, 10 minutes only. Oh, no, let's make it 3 minutes. For the next 3 minutes, ES is on sale. You know, it's 20% off, right? Get them while they're hot. It's dead right now, Mike. Very good observation because we're in distribution. So if you are a size seller, the last thing you want to do, Mike, is you don't want to scare all the buyers away by putting out a bunch of size. You just gently tap, 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 right? Just selling gently into the buying, right? You don't want to spook all the buyers away, right? Look desperate. So they stop selling when they find a bid, right? Ease it out. Just, yeah, gently move it out, right? So we've had 3 red candles now. For those of you who look at the color. So this is a backfill. We went up and created supply. So if you're a short seller, right, and I'm sorry I didn't call this out, you would have been shorting 42 against 45, looking for 34 as a target. Okay, that's how you short. This is the front end of the move. Tabletop goes sideways, sellers start to come in. So you short in here, you got a place to put your stop. You got a warning level at 44 and out at 45. That's how you manage your risk. Then you put your buy order, so say you're short 42, right? You put a buy order at 40, 38, 36, and you get filled on the way down. Thank you very much. Make your money. That's how you do the short. I should have called that out. I missed that. But that was beautiful, right? When it does that, it goes up. Sellers are competing there, right? You see them. Boom, boom, boom. It's offered, offered, offered. Can't get any further. You identify a seller. You sell alongside with that seller. You put the stop up here, so if that seller goes away, you're protected. Very simple. If you're trailing your stops, you move your stop from that candle to that candle. Now you move it down here, right? And if you want to trade that way, always maximize as much as you can out of the trade that you can within reason, right? You can't be delusional, but you can take steps to know whether that trade's going to work well. Especially if you're trading 3 to 5 contracts, that's how you trade it, right? Because in this market, you never know when it's going to bid. Because the problem with this market is we don't get selling for very long. We'll get maybe a few hours of selling, and then that'll be it. Because this is a market that is not built for distribution. It's built for the marking up of assets. There you go. There you go, Josh. 31 bid front running the close of Wednesday. Bingo. Beautiful. It's really slow right now, too. So, let me put it to you this way. If you'd made a whole bunch of money this year, say you'd had like $150 million a year, would you be in front of the screen right now, or would you kind of take that Thanksgiving holiday and kind of drag it out a little bit more? You might do that. We got to look below and fail of 34 here. If we can get past the 36s, a little long to 42 might work. I don't even have my DOM up. Hang on. There's the seller. So you can see the sellers right there, eh? Dirty buggers. Right there. See? You can see the seller. It's right there. So if you build a little long position, right? maybe between 35 and 37. Go put some sell orders out. See, it's cracking up. It's cracking up. You know, if you're long 36, what am I long? 36 and three quarters. I'm offered at 38. I'm out one at 38. I'm offered at 38 and a quarter, half and three quarters. And if they don't get taken, right, I could start cutting contracts here or wait to see if that bid. If this thing bids, but I know, look, there's a seller there, right? You could see that there's a seller there. So I'm not going to go full tilt crazy on that trade. I might take it after it gets above that white line, right? So I'm going to offer at 37 and three quarters. I got two left. I'm offered at 38 half, no takers. I'm out at 38. I got one left with a 36 half average. I'm out at 38, right? I don't care. I'll sell into that strength. Let it go to 40. I just want to make sure I turn my inventory into cash before somebody else takes my customer. See? Because remember, I was high, right? My entry was high. I didn't have the lowest entry on that trade. So I had to get what I could for it, right? I have not been trading for 4 days, so today's my first day back. You know, I don't want to pretend that I'm James Bond and mess it up. So I'll take, if I get 3, 4 points on 3, 4 contracts, I'll take it, right? I'll just take it. And I was wise to sell into it because right now I'd be getting stopped out or wondering what the hell to do. If I was long 36 and a half, 37, and I didn't take those 38, 37 and three quarter offers, what's the point? What's really the point? Hopefully it stays over 34. It is right now, but there's no guarantees, and I don't want to be down 3 points on 4 contracts when I could have made a profit. That just shows you I'm not the smartest business person. And now I'd be getting stopped out, and that's how you lose money. You lose money by not thinking through a trade. You're not thinking through a trade because nobody's taught you how to do it intelligently and in a simple way. That's the problem, right? I mean, what's the point of holding for an extra 20 points when it moves against you? I don't get that, right? Especially in this market when you can get a 1 minute candle that's 20 points. Can you really take a drawdown of 20 points and wait for an hour or two for the market to go back up? Do you have the capital to do that? Probably not, right? Be smart about things. Take the money. And even larger traders, if you're scalping, right, I would be watching your 5 minute candles and your 1 minute candles to find the bid. Then your executions on your larger trades, right? Say you're putting together 50, 100 contracts and you're going to swing trade them for 5, 6 hours or 8 hours. You know, use the 1 minute chart to help you with your execution. Dig in. If the business reason for the trade starts to go away, why would you have money at risk? Right? I'm buying it at 5 to sell it at 6. It's offered at 470 now, so somebody can sell it cheaper than what I bought it for. Where's the economic benefit of holding inventory that is mispriced? You guys get what I said? Does that make sense to you when I say it that way? What is the economic benefit of holding inventory that is mispriced? It doesn't make any business sense, right? Excuse me. None. That's quick. That's quick, Josh. That's quick. Wow. That's good. Yeah, you're getting faster. That's cool. That's cool to see. Good, good, good. All right, creeping over 38. It's just pure distribution, right? That's all we're doing. That's why it's so slow now and the trades are kind of crappier, right? We had our accumulation and now we're distributing. Had some buyers up here, but we had to put it on sale and we seem to be getting good buying between 34 and 37, right? Right? And if we lose the bid, if we lose that buying, we'll probably it'll drop down here to this 28 area, just underneath the close. I don't understand that. I've heard people say there's buying pressure, but that doesn't really make any sense to me. What I see is I'm a seller because I've always been a seller, Randy. So if I'm selling here and I sell it down to 32 and pretend 32 is like a glass door. And if I see a whole bunch of people sitting outside that glass door waiting to come into the store, I'll just raise price. I'll just raise price. I'll raise price. That's the way I see it, and that's the way an institutional wholesaler looks at it. See, people don't want to buy at higher prices. That's why, and that's another very big wrong piece of information that they say. They say when markets are going up, that the buyers are in control. That is the dumbest thing at all because buyers do not want to pay more. If I said to you something's $5 and you go, "Oh, great, I'll pay 10 for it," that doesn't make any sense. So when markets are going higher, the sellers are in control because they're moving price higher because they see buyers coming in. That's how commerce works, right? The sellers, the wholesale sellers, fix the price or set the price according to the customer order flow that's coming into the market. That's all it is. So if there's a lot of customers, we can raise price. If there are not a lot of customers, we have to put the crap on sale, right? It's like a store. Instead of calling this the market, they should just call it the ES store, right? I think it would help people uh, visualize a little bit more. Hope that helps. Tag the close to the tick. Very, very mechanically precise markets lately. Very mechanically precise, which is nice. Which is nice. Makes us makes our job a lot nicer because we can really manage our risk and be very, very precise with our entries and our exits. Put it on sale to attract more buying. Exactly. right? Just get it out the door, Randy. Right? Just get it out the door. I don't see a trade yet. Okay, if you're short, right? If you're shorting this 33, 34 area, 32, 33, 34, your warning is 36 and your out is 38. So if you're short here, your warning level here is 36 and your stop would be 38. And I'd be putting bids down at 28, 29, and if it accepts over 34, see, this is a horrible place to trade. Distribution is really sucky to trade because it's just going back and forth while they're unloading the truck. That's all they're doing. They load the truck here, take it to the store, now they're unloading it. That's why it's not the greatest trade right now. But if you're stubborn short, you can use 36 as your warning, and if it takes out 36, then you can cover some contracts. And my hard stop would be for 38. Hmm. Kind of boring right now, huh? How's the coin of bitterness this morning? It was looking pretty bleak yesterday. Let's see, what do we got? Oh, yeah. Month-end short covering came to an end, eh? Let's see if we can, I don't know. I'm thinking I'd like to see Bitcoin break 78 before I start buying again. No, I haven't, Josh. I think a little lower. I'm looking to see maybe a look below and fail of like 76K. Got hit pretty bad last night. Down 4,800 bucks. Risk assets. I think Bitcoin got taken up at the end of the month on short covering. There, I said it. Right? And then as soon as the end of the month is done, boom. Right? Just like ES. Right? All risk assets get taken and marked up at the end of the month so everybody looks like a hero. And then the next day, they just all fall apart because none of the buying was real. That's why I always tell people they get sucked into that month end move up and then the stock comes down, right? Literally the next day, right? The stock gets punched down lower because the short covering is gone. So what you want to do is, especially when you want to swing trades, there's boom, there's VWAP right there. Sorry. You want to wait until the market sells off, stabilizes before you start putting a position together. That's why I don't like buying stuff at the end of the month because most of that buying is false. It's smoke and mirrors. It's window dressing, right? Remember when I was saying the short underneath 34? If you were short 32, 33, that's where it would have worked. I was just way too early. Any questions? I know you guys are still you still have leftover turkey, don't you? Everyone's like, I know after 4 days off, man, I wasn't. You're like, oh, okay, all right. Yeah, no rush either. I'm there with you, my friend. I'm in no rush either. Oh, well, 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 well. Sorry, okay. Nvidia still under 179.64. Okay, they're gonna have to clean that up. I have a morbid, oh Jesus, fascination with this MSTR. Oof, that is not a good look. I'm not long these things, but man, they are ugly. Crabapple, holding tough. How's Micro Squish? Let's see, Netflix. Not so bad. Rip through these and see if, yeah, not such a bad thing. Underneath VWAP, if we break 68.23, ladies and gentlemen, and you're a short seller, you're looking for down here into the 15, 16 area here. Well, folks, that's pretty much it. Let's see. We're going to bring it back to cost basis. Big level on the downside is the 68.04 and 68.02. If those break, then you're going to be looking around 67.90 on the downside down here. Okay. MSTR is out of cash. God. You know, for months now I've been saying I don't understand that stock. I don't know how they're doing it. I don't get it. Why is it just looks like someone's selling stock into the float. It looks like there's someone's diluting that thing. And God, I hope people didn't lose a lot of money on it. Yeah. Well, let's see how it shakes out. I hope he cleans it up for his shareholders' sake. So, what's our high today? In RTH 44 quarter. 68.44 quarter. Not much to do here, folks. We came right to the top of that cost basis, right? Where there were sellers. I wouldn't have gone long off of that, but just kind of it shows you how we talk about position, right? There's the position, you go sell it, and then when you put it on sale, you put it on sale right back to the top of your cost basis. Okay? Does that make sense? You guys all got that? Cool. Good, good, good. Well, folks, that's it for me for this morning, this afternoon. I hope you have a wonderful trading day. Please check out our AI and our trading room. We'd ask you if you could kindly like and subscribe to the YouTube so it keeps our algos well fed. All right. I'm JJ. I'm vwaptrader1 on X. This is tradingsyndicate.org with our AItradingcoach.org. And our mission is to help regular people make a living and not keep getting eaten alive in these markets. Come learn how to trade, from someone who actually knows how markets are operated and put together. No distracting, gibberish, just plain simple facts, right? Come join us. We'll teach you how to run a proper business, right? And we'll have some fun too. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow, 7:30 UK time, 2:30 in the morning for those of you who have insomnia in New York. Thanks very much, everyone. Have a great day. Bye for now.